I tried every change on the PTB, so you don't have to.
Oh my god! Wow!
Behavior starting off 2024 with a bang, as we are getting one of our biggest updates in recent history. From new characters to killer changes to perk changes to overhauling the whole gen system. There is a lot to cover, and I figured might as well just test everything. I've gotten to play a bunch of matches already, so I'm just going to give my general thoughts on all of the changes, whether I think they're good or bad, while showcasing some of the gameplay that I got playing against actual people. If there's anything you want to see me make a video on from the PTB, make sure to let me know in the comments. And also, before we get into this video, I have some huge news.
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening! Everybody stay calm!
I have created another channel. This one, known as Twoknee 2, or Tony 2, whatever you want to call it, will be one more dedicated to just general gameplay, stream highlights, and anything that I don't necessarily want to put onto the main channel, but I thought I'd want to record anyways. This kind of gives me the chance to not have as highly edited content, because that does take quite a while to do, but I can get like 4 to 5 videos out a week here, you know, just mixing in a bunch of different things, just kind of things that are racking my brain, because I said I wanted to have more highly edited content and just higher quality content on this main channel. So this other one is going to be like kind of where my ideas go and other just fun moments. So if you guys are interested, go drop that channel a sub. I should have a video out of my first impressions of Billy on there as this video goes live as well. It would really mean a lot, and again, expect a bunch of videos on there as well. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and tell me what you think of the PTB so far. Let's go ahead and get into it. Well, I mean, I guess the first thing we should look at briefly is the fact that we're getting ourselves a new character, Alan Wake.
Alan, I'm a little horny.
You know, I've never actually played the games, but I know they are pretty popular. The second one came out recently, and it actually won a few Game Awards, if I'm not mistaken. Here it's got like really good narrative and stuff, but Mr. Alan Wake, looking like a cross between Jake Gyllenhaal and Keanu Reeves. His perks, honestly, they're okay. They can get some niche value. I don't think that they're incredibly overpowered, but there could be some builds that are pretty fun to run with them. But I'm planning on making a full video to show them off, so that's kind of my thoughts, at least so far. I've only had a chance to play like one game or so with him. The next thing that we could talk about, and it's something that the community has been asking for a very long time, is an FOV Slider. I never thought in the life cycle of DBD that we would actually get this, but behavior has chosen to surprise me yet again. So if you don't know what FOV is, it's basically your field of view. It's kind of how zoomed in your character feels.
Here you go. Oh, you want some fucking FOV?
A higher FOV will make you feel zoomed out a little bit more. You can kind of see more out of your peripheral vision. But for some people, it kind of gives off like a motion sickness vibe, so not everyone uses it, which is why you have a slider. You can stay at the base, which is 87, or you can move it all the way up to 103, which is essentially like having Shadowborn equipped. And because of this, perks like Shadowborn and Monitor and Abuse no longer have those FOV increasers on them. But for me personally, I think it's a great change. I always like high FOV, so I'm going to probably have it up to the max every single time. Next up, we have the generator system update. And let me tell you, this was put into place because all of you stinky, smelly 3-genning gamers.
Down here, stinky boy.
If you have played Dead by Daylight, you have probably experienced a 3-gen scenario, and let me tell you, it's some of the most unfun things about the game. So to prevent this, they have changed the way that generators work. Now each gen can only suffer 8 regression events, and after that max has been reached, it can no longer be regressed by the killer with stuff like kicks or perks. The only way that it will continue to regress if a survivor ends up failing a skill check. So in order to not totally make it terrible for the killers, they increased the kick progress. Instead of taking away 2.5%, it takes away 5%. And you can no longer gen tap to stop something from regressing. You actually have to repair 5% of that gen. So you're basically limited in the amount that you can actually regress a certain gen, but you get to regress it by more each time, and the survivor has to be on it for longer to stop that regression. Honestly, I love this. I'd rather lose in like 10 minutes than go in a game that lasts fucking an hour long. Like at that point, it just really doesn't mean that much to me. I'll take the L, just get me out of here.
I want to go home.
And while I was playing in all of the matches I did, I don't think I ever got to the 8 full regression point on a gen. I'm sure that I might later if it was on the live servers, but I'm a-okay with this. I should mention that there are a couple of perks that kind of get around this rule of the 8 regressions. One being Ruin, because it doesn't regress 2.5% immediately. It doesn't affect the 8. as well as like secondary actions from perks like Oppression and Overcharge, because if you fail a skill check on Overcharge, it's an additional progress loss, but that doesn't count as regression. Same with the Oppression affecting the other generators, it only affects the one that you actually kick, so you can kind of play around with some different perks. The only thing that could potentially be annoying now is you could have a reverse hostage situation, where survivors just try to keep repairing the gen a little bit to get that regression off, and then waiting for the time to where the killer can't actually kick the gen anymore. That could be a thing, but I think that's probably few and far between. I actually think that this is a pretty solid change.
Oh, like that!
Now let's get into some of the killer changes. There were 3 main ones that we got in this update, that being Hillbilly, Sadako, and the Blight. And we gotta start off with perhaps the biggest W I've seen in DBD in a long time, and that is the Hillbilly.
I want to be a cowboy, baby.
Holy shit, this killer has been so bad for so long, but playing them just a few games on the PTB was some of the most fun experiences I have had in recent memory on this game. First, let's just talk about the general changes that are coming in with Billy here on the PTB. We've got increased chainsaw movement speed, decreased the chainsaw hit cooldown, decreased the chainsaw miss cooldown, increased movement speed during the chainsaw miss cooldown, decreased the size of the chainsaw's collision so you don't run into a bunch of shit. And they disconnected the chainsaw sensitivity from controller sensitivity. And the craziest thing now is that they have completely removed the overheat mechanic and instead made it the overdrive. So you actually want heat on your chainsaw, as where before you wanted to try to avoid it at all costs. It lasts for 20 seconds, and the base stats on it increases your chainsaw charge speed by 5%, your sprint movement speed is 13 meters a second, and cooldowns are reduced by 10%. Honestly, this is crazy, but just listen to the sheer shock and also joy in my voice learning what this was for the first time. Well, I mean, whoa! What the fuck? Nah. That's gotta be illegal. That's so fast. Holy shit, that is the fastest thing I have ever witnessed.
I mean, he's so fast. He makes fast people look not fast.
Nah. Brother, that ain't right. I had no idea that you could be so fast on this man, but holy crap, it was so much fun. When I was playing, I was enjoying myself a ton trying to get to that overdrive. I'm really bad with Billy, but I was hitting cool curves, I was actually hitting my chainsaw, and it was so satisfying to be able to move fast and try to maneuver around like loops and tiles and such. I was having an absolute blast. I played one game as Alan against the Hillbilly 2, and it was pretty intense to go up against. I really enjoyed my time on that. And I think if any killer has been just so shit for so long and deserved some TLC, it was definitely Billy, and I think that this is one of the best changes that I have seen in recent memory.
Look! It's a big W, I tell you!
The next killer that got some changes is the Onryo.
Get up, you little ugly bitch.
Main goal here was to kind of discourage that condemn-only playstyle and actually make it rewarding to chase and hook the survivors. There's a lot of changes here, so I'm going to do this quickly. So, while demanifested, Onryo can gain Bloodlust and can also enter Chase, but while demanifesting, you will no longer lose that Bloodlust, and it increases the invisibility duration while demanifested to 1.2 seconds, which I believe is basically what Reiko's watch was before. Now for her projection power, the cooldown has been removed from the live patch, but now you get one full stack on condemning, but it only applies to survivors within 16 meters of the TV you projected from, or any powered on TVs. The powered TVs now have their visual effects showing at all times when powered, and are revealed to survivors within 16 meters. But one really cool thing now is hooking a survivor locks their condemned progress, making it impossible to remove. So if you're at like 3 condemned, you get hooked, you cannot go down past that 3. Tapes no longer grant protection from gaining condemned. You can't gain condemned if you're hit while holding a tape. They no longer lose their tape when they're attacked, but you now must bring your tape to the furthest TV, which will be highlighted in yellow. Retrieving a tape takes 1 second, and inserting a tape also takes 1 second. She also got an add-on pass on quite a few. The ones that I'll actually just go over have some new functionalities. The videotape copy will increase the range at which survivors gain condemned from projection by 2 meters. Ring drawing, when hooking a survivor with the tape, they'll gain 1 extra stack of condemn. The tape editing deck is basically the same, but also has the addition of survivors that insert their tape are revealed for 6 seconds. And the iridescent videotape does not turn off TVs and does not apply condemned, but TVs turned off by survivors take 20% longer to turn back on.
Great. I think I got it, but just in case, tell me the whole thing again. I wasn't listening.
So with Sadako, I'm pretty sure this is, a nerf. Obviously, the condemn was way too easy to build up before, but I kind of enjoyed myself while playing. Maybe it's just me. I like chasing people. I don't like just teleporting to TVs and then avoiding people at all costs until they're at max condemn.
Why are you running?
I don't know. Not fun to me. What I found to be really interesting was running that iridescent videotape, which allowed you to just teleport infinitely if a survivor didn't put a tape into a TV. And running that with some aura perks, you got some pretty good just chase out of it. I would never really expect Sadako to be a chase type killer, but with that I was actually having a lot of fun and I could get around the map very quickly, and it felt more rewarding to be in those chases. So while I think this is probably a nerf to the general overall power, I think it's definitely a lot healthier for the game. And the final killer changes came in the form of an add-on pass for the Blight. I think it's been a bit of a long time coming, despite me being quite the Blight enjoyer, a connoisseur, if you will. I mean, the dude's already really strong, not to mention some of these add-ons were absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, some add-ons need to be toned down, and so what they did was made Bladed Rat increase speed by 2% instead of 4%. Bladed Crow, it's 3% instead of 6%. You're still going to be moving fast. Adrenaline Vial, they took away things from it, so now it just increases max rush tokens. It increases your look angle, but decreases the turn rate. Then Alchemist Ring now increases rush duration by 20% for each consecutive rush. Compound 33 increases rush turn rate by 33% for each consecutive rush that goes at least 4 meters. And Eerie Blight Tag enables rush to be performed without spending tokens. The bonuses are capped after 3 consecutive rushes, and Blighted Corruption goes on cooldown for 20 seconds after a successful lethal rush. And some of the speed stuff, right, it's just toning down numbers and whatnot, but we're in a weird conundrum right now, alright? Because although those add-ons, like Alchemist Ring, Eerie Tag, Comp 33, were incredibly strong, these other ones are still pretty damn strong. I don't know, Alchemist Ring being able to go 20% farther on each rush, you can go from one end to the map to the other with just one rush if it's on your final rush. So that's obviously very good. More distance traveled is never a bad thing. It's technically probably slightly worse than the original Alchemist Ring, but still, in the hands of a good Blight, this is going to be very scary. Compound 33, you don't get that pallet break, which I was curious, so I tested that out as well. But the turn rate is ridiculous. You can fully turn around and go the other way. You're I'm going towards Shack. Actually, I'll just turn around and go the other direction. The turn rate is pretty insane on there, but the most surprising one to me is this Eerie Blight Tag, because I honestly think this is better than what Eerie Blight Tag used to be.
Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
Don't get me wrong, getting an instant down on a rush is pretty strong, but you would find a lot of people just going for the instant down rushes, and they would just mess up a lot of the time. You can literally rush unlimited times with this. Unlimited.
Games. Unlimited games and no games.
Right? And if you don't hit anybody, it immediately comes back off cooldown and you can do it again. So honestly, if you just have someone positioned in the map, or if someone's injured, you can just keep them there forever, or you can just get around the map infinitely. You have no issues at all. I have some clips just showcasing a couple of these add-ons in use, and I just find it to be pretty funny, so hopefully you will enjoy. Let's see how far we go on one. But, that is indeed not short. It's not short. Let's do this again. I'm still going. Can I make it to this? Wait, pretty dang easily. What? Where's this uninjured person? Oh, wait, actually. Can we not sleep on that turning? That is kind of insane. Woo! Oh my god, that turning is insane. Let's go ahead and go here. This actually might be an insane add-on. Bro, I can keep going. You want to talk about the ability to just be the most new... Oh, no. Wait, that's... That's so fucking stupid. What the hell? Nice. Alright, time to keep rushing. Alright. Oh, I heard somebody. Do you think you could actually run from me? The Blight? You're somewhere over here. And now we'll find you. And I will bring you to justice. Bro, this is so dumb. No, not on that gen. Oh, might as well go check this gen. Oh, they are on this gen. Oh, nice dodge. That cooldown has to be... Or is it only on a successful hit? Where did he go? He's over here. Okay, I'll take it. So honestly, if I'm saying this, like, realistically, I think that the new functionalities for some of these are pretty neat, but they still might need to get toned down a little bit. And along with these killer updates, we also got ourselves some perk updates, starting off with Quick Gambit. So the new Save the Best for Last makes it to where you only get a 4% decreased successful basic attack cooldown, but you can also lose stacks when you use your power. But I think it's bugged because I played with Sadako and I just simply did not lose a stack at all, so pretty solid.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Grim Embrace might become actually meta. If you pair it with some other stuff, I see it being super nasty. Because the first time that you hook every survivor, it also blocks generators for 12 seconds, and then still does everything that it does currently, which means blocking it for 40 seconds after. You get to see the Obsession's aura. Doing this with something like Corrupt, with Pain Res, it's going to be really hard, especially on mobile killers, for survivors to do anything. Another perk that I think is going to do extremely well is the new Ruin, since it doesn't deactivate now when someone dies, and also doesn't count for the gen regression. You'll be able to get that up much longer, and I was using Ruin in my play session today, and it was cleansed pretty rarely, and I was getting a ton of value from it. And the final perk is Shadowborn, which was an FOV perk, obviously with the slider. Gotta give it something new. And this one could also be pretty dang strong. When you're blinded, you get a 10% haste status effect for 10 seconds. Normally that's at a pallet, so even if you break that pallet, you still have around 7 or 8 seconds of being 10% faster than you already are. This was pretty strong. I know they probably put it in there because of the hindered perk that Alan Wake has, but if you're not running that, then you're going to get some speedy killers in there.
It makes really fast.
I would say the perks are kind of more wet noodle to me. Like, Save doesn't really fix the main issue that it's supposed to have, and it's kind of broken. Shadowborn could end up being very strong. Ruin's going to see more use, which I guess isn't the worst. Grim Embrace might be also very just annoying to go up against for survivors. Quick Gambit's useless, obviously. I think it's just useless at this point. I don't know. They just need to scrap it and make something new. But yeah, the perks are kind of in the meh category for me. And the last thing that they changed was the map Ormond, I guess, to try to make it more interesting to play on. That one side where it usually has that big, long rock wall, they've just kind of eliminated that and put in some just filler pallets, some like picnic tables and stuff. Kind of looks like the other side of the map as well, but that at first kind of seemed like it might be worse for killer, but some of the loops seem pretty weak. I might have to play on it a bit more. The main issue with Ormond, though, too, is just that it's a big map, and a lot of the tiles are on the edge. It was kind of the issue that Erie had, so it didn't seem worse when I looked at it, but also I don't know if I got enough games on it. I don't know if the layout can really change to make it more annoying, but we'll have to see, because Ormond already was kind of a meh map. And the last thing I want to mention is, why do we keep adding useless UI additions? Like, why do I have to do a drop down now to get to hit play killer or play survivor? Like, when it was just on the left side, it was much easier. It's better to do something in one click than it is to do in two. It's like the same when they put in the banners. You got to click to actually see like your devotion score and all that stuff. I don't know. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, behavior.
Keep it simple, stupid. Great advice. Hurts my feelings every time.
Overall, I think this was a very successful PTB. Obviously, some stuff needs a little bit of tweaking in numbers. I'm not a big numbers guy, so I'll leave that to the people in charge over there, but I would say it was really good. Billy feels stronger without being incredibly, like, overpowered. Blight, still gonna be good. Don't get me wrong. Sadako's gonna be probably less annoying to go up against. Maybe some of the perks leave a little bit to be desired, but the gen stuff in there, the FOV slider, that's all good stuff in my opinion. And, you know, when there's more good than bad, that's always a good thing. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Remember to check out the second DVD channel as well. I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.